Iain Duncan Smith.
Speaker, can I welcome some of the report that my right honourable friend has brought to the House today, but I want to return to China. As someone sanctioned, I take a particular interest in this. I have to say that I am somewhat confused as to what the government's position actually is. It was the Prime Minister, when standing for election, who said China posed a systemic threat. Then that was backed down to systemic challenge, to which we were going to meet it with robust pragmatism. That robust pragmatism meant that we have sanctioned nobody in Hong Kong when America has sanctioned 10, that we have sanctioned 3 low officials in Xinjiang when America has sanctioned 11, including Chen Guangguo, the architect of that terrible atrocity, and we didn't kick out the Chinese officials who beat people up on the streets of the UK. But now I understand that's moved to epoch-defining challenge. I just want to ask, in the document that the Prime Minister has produced today, in the same paragraph, he does refer to that epoch-defining challenge, but then he goes on to say that this is in the face of that threat. So does that now mean that China is a threat, or an epoch-defining challenge, or a challenging government epoch, or even none of that?
Secretary of State.
Mr. Speaker, firstly, I'd like to reassure my right honourable friend that in every meeting that I've had with representatives of the Chinese government, I've raised specifically their sanctioning of him and others in this House as being completely unacceptable behaviour, and I've challenged them on every single occasion that I have had conversations with the Chinese government, so I want to let him know on that one. I would make the point that whilst I understand the desire to have a simple short phrase or indeed single word to describe our posture towards China, with a country as big, as influential, as significant as China, it is impossible to distill it down just to a simple set of words or a phrase. It's not something we do with any other country in the world. We recognise that international relations are more complicated. There is in the IR refresh, and there will be more of a narrative than just a single word description, because we want to describe the areas where we can and should work more closely with China, the areas where we need to defend ourselves and our interests against China, and the areas where we want to steer China into a different course of action. So there will always be descriptors, plural, and I understand his desire for clarity on this, and he will see through our actions that we do respond robustly to China when it behaves in a way that we disagree with, but we will also attempt to steer China in the better direction of itself.